Today's show is brought to you by adamandeve.com. Go to adamandeve.com right now and you'll get 50% off just about any item. All you have to do is enter the code word GLORY, Glory, at checkout.
Be advised that this show is not for children, the faint of heart, or the easily offended. The explicit tag is there for a reason.
Recording live from Glory Hole Studios in Chicago, this is Cognitive Dissonance. Every episode we blast anyone who gets in our way. We bring critical thinking, skepticism, and irreverence to any topic that makes the news, makes it big, or makes us mad. It's skeptical, it's political, and there is no welcome mat. This is episode 481 of Cognitive Dissonance.
And we didn't just end the previous episode seconds before.
We did not, and we are not about to record an intro for next week's episode immediately subsequent to this one.
The magic of editing.
Do you actually believe in the ladder to heaven? If heaven is an 8-year-old boy, and the ladder is my penis, and the pearly gates are the...
All right, this story comes from the Friendly Atheist. Georgia GOP lawmaker used legal loophole to help molesting priest avoid prison.
Oh, that's nice of him to do.
Yeah, so this is about a guy, Ohio preacher Jason Brothers, and Ohio preacher Jason Brothers raped a 14-year-old girl when she got up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water.
Yeah, who was in a wheelchair due to his cerebral palsy, asked her for a hug, and then raped her. So he's in a wheelchair, I guess, and then
raped a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, so okay,
tricked her and raped her. So nice. Yeah, all right. So obviously, what happened next is he was tried and convicted and served time in prison for raping a child, right?
Right,
Cecil?
Sure. That's normally what would happen.
That would be
the path you would follow.
Republican House Speaker David Ralston didn't get involved. You see, Ralston was actually the guy in charge of prosecuting or bringing the case for prosecution. So what he did is he used a loophole that allowed him to delay the trial as often as he wanted, as long as he was on state business.
Oh.
So he delayed that trial intentionally by claiming he was unavailable because he was on state business. That state business, by the way, often being fundraising and campaigning. For 6 fucking years.
And then the girl, of course, in this case, then forgets some of the things because it's been so long. So then her case starts to unravel and they eventually just don't decide not to go against him. I think they decided on a plea deal. They agreed to have someone do a plea deal because they just were like, I don't think that we can remember all this stuff and we don't know that we can nail him to the wall. So instead he just gets to spend 4 years in his house.
Yep. Yeah, the case was weakened by aging the case out.
And I don't even know if it's 4 years in his house. It's just 4 years on probation. So wherever he wants, you're just on probation. So it doesn't matter.
I want to read this part. The 2 complaints of the State Bar of Georgia filed by victims in other cases have accused him of campaigning and fundraising when he told judges he couldn't come to court. Ralston has denied that practice, telling the Augusta Chronicle he'd think about stopping, quote, if George Soros will promise that he will not send any more money into Georgia. So
is that a non sequitur? I think that's the definition of a non sequitur.
Yeah. I will stop delaying cases and not bringing cases to trial where young people are raped if George Soros doesn't. So basically saying look, I want the Republicans to win. I don't want interference in the elections by Democratic fundraisers. And so my strategy is to not persecute rape victims. That's really... What am I missing? What part am I mischaracterizing?
I don't know, but it feels like those push pins and yarn don't really fit together. It feels like one should be on a different wall.
I'll be horrible until you like me better.
Yeah.
Fundraise, campaign. I will be horrible. I will be worse every day until you like me better, Cecil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's my strategy to get people to like me.
The Republican Party has been this... They keep saying over and over, we're the party of law and order.
Right.
And if I were running against this guy, the first thing I would do is I would put this on blast on the anti, what do they call it? The attack ad. I would put an attack ad out that says, this guy
Right.
let out a rapist from the jail because he delayed it because he was campaigning. Like I would do one of those. Like I would do and if you don't, you're stupid because this guy clearly is. And if they're filing multiple cases, that means he's not just doing it once. He's doing it all the time.
Yeah. But you got to figure he's a Republican in Georgia. So he wins no matter what.
I get it.
Like you could put an attack ad out that had him saying it.
Yeah.
Like the attack ad could be like, this ad brought to you by me.
Yeah.
I'm the worst, but I'm Republican.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Georgia. We're all Republicans now.
Georgia approves this message.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit how you fuck that peach down in Georgia. Like age, like ripe, not ripe. They do not give a fuck.
And it's interesting because it's in contrast to this case.
Indeed, this is from Los Angeles CBS. Judge denies bail to church leader accused of sex acts against children.
Wow. Thank goodness.
So this guy's a fucking monster of a human being. He's charged with rape and other sexual acts against children. He was originally held on a $50 million bail. They thought he was a flight risk and that the information provided by the victims was very detailed. And he used his religious power and authority in order to victimize these young girls. That's what he used to help influence and to groom them.
Yeah, to specifically do it. Yeah.
Right. And so when it came time to ask for bail, the judge was like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you for asking. That is never going to happen. Absolutely not. That's how it's done. That's how it should be done.
Yeah, this is a great case to look at in comparison. We'll point out that this guy is brown and the other one is not. So
that's
maybe
true.
That's something.
But he's brown in Los Angeles where like everybody's brown, right?
I will say this. I am relieved that there are only 2 child exploitation by religion or stories at all in America right now. I'm glad that there's only 2, that there's not another 100 to, several hundred stories out there of this happening over and over and over. I mean, there's tons of stuff that we don't even cover every week.
Oh yeah, I usually don't grab these stories, except for I grabbed these because I thought that they were at, a nice contrast with one another.
Yeah, right. But normally there's nothing to say anymore.
No, it's all been said. The only thing I hope is that I do genuinely hope that we're moving. I don't think we're there yet, obviously, from the first story. But I think that we're moving into a space where this kind of abuse will be treated as intolerable. It's interesting because I think that for years, there's been a rhetoric around the intolerability of the sexual abuse of children. But then our actions don't belie that same rhetoric. We have, huge organizations like the Catholic Church and the followers of the Catholic Church, and then many other governmental institutions that seem to aid and abet these predators.
Right.
And that give very light sentences that, compared to other much less serious, much less violent crimes.
Yeah.
Just recently, there was that judge who got, I think he resigned or got fired.
Yeah, he left. He quit. Yeah.
And he said, well, I don't want too harsh a sentence on this rapist because he comes from a good family.
He comes from a good family and he might get into a good school one day.
Right.
Yeah.
He had good grades. He came from a good family. So I don't want to ruin his life.
Yeah. That means a white family, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Point that out.
Yeah. And he's a rapist. So it's still built into the system. There's a tremendous amount of misogyny and excusing and apologetic bullshit around sexual crime.
Right.
But I do think that the public sentiment has completely turned. And there's a lot more attention.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of intolerance for leeway in these cases.
I think it's interesting to see people's attitudes, especially when it comes to like the Catholic Church, where there still is a large contingent of people who either don't believe it or don't think it's that big a deal. There are still a relatively large contingent of people who are not, when they interview these people, they interview these people, especially when they're standing out there on vigil for their leader, their church leader, who's under suspicion or who is, in custody or something. And they'll interview these people. And the way they talk about it is like, oh, they're blowing it out of proportion, or this preacher would never do that. That's just, there's no way he would do it. So they don't believe the victims at all.
Right.
And, I think you're right. I think there is something that is pushing the public consciousness. Maybe it's the Me Too movement. Maybe it's, just, paying attention to these things more closely, but it is pushing the consciousness away from that. But you will still find people who are in total denial. Their preacher or their priest could never do this sort of thing.
I just find that astonishing, given everything that we know. Those are people that have picked their side before they have all the information.
Yeah, they do that with intelligent design too.
I, for one, believe that if Saddam Hussein were an 8-year-old boy and my penis were the United States, then there would... Hard nipples! God damn it.
What the fuck, man? This is from Right Wing Watch. The Q in LGBTQ means protecting people who want to have sex with minors, says Matt Staver.
And this, Tom, you're going to have to read this one too. This is just a quote from him.
So he says, they're trying to use their corporate clout to send a message to the United States Supreme Court to do what the Equality Act would do. And that is elevate sexual orientation and gender identity. And that's the whole spectrum, by the way. That's a huge spectrum, which includes gender identity, includes minor attracted individuals.
No,
That's
it
not.
Doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No. Now, what is that? That's someone who believes that sex with minors is okay, that it should not be stigmatized or criminalized, that having multiple relationships, not being monogamous is okay.
So like in Jeffrey Epstein, is that what we're talking about?
So I think one thing I want to stop here is saying like, he's conflating being non-monogamous in the same sentence as having sex with minors. These guys don't understand at all, like that there is a continuum of sexual behaviors, some of which involve consenting adults and are therefore nobody's fucking business but the people engaging in them.
Right.
And then behaviors which involve non-consenting minors or non-consenting adults, which have a moral and thus legal component. It's the easiest distinction in the world to make. But this guy is like, is he really as worried about an open relationship that somebody else is in as he is the same amount of worried of somebody having sex with a minor? Because he's smushing them into the same sentence.
If they're in the same sentence, that just shows how uptight you are about just monogamous relationships, let alone. So it's you putting your, just throwing your insecurities out into the world, casting them out like a net.
Thank you. Yeah. I read this and I'm like, dude, just ask your wife if she's fucking someone else.
Yeah.
Just like,
have an adult conversation with someone else.
Yeah. You got to get in there. You're worried.
Don't punish all these other people in the world because you're basically trying to convince a voting bloc here. That's what you're trying to do. The ultimate goal of this is for him to convince a voting bloc to make sure that things like Equality Act don't go through or are overturned, right? So that's his main goal. And so he's trying to punish an entire group of people who may or may not think monogamy is a good idea. He's trying to punish all those people. And he's using sex with minors or pedophilia, sex with children as a way to say, that's also in the same ballpark. And
it's unbelievable.
They're going to say they do the same thing though when they start ballparking, pedophilia with they'll ballpark it with sex with random objects as well as sex with dogs, and they lump it all together. They lump it all together into one big group
because in their mind there's only one kind of good fucking, right? In their mind, the only good fucking is, standard man-woman missionary procreative fucking.
Right,
That's the only morally good fucking.
With the lights off.
Right.
And both of us praying for our souls. That's the only way to actually have fuck.
Lay back and don't enjoy this.
Exactly.
Don't worry, it'll be over quick.
I don't want you to enjoy a moment of this.
And she's like,
and I certainly won't get you ready.
Yeah, and she's like, honey, I haven't enjoyed a moment of this since the fucking day we got together.
I'm sorry. I just love my country, and I fear for it.
This story comes from Right Wing Watch. Glenn Beck is planning to renew America's covenant with God.
All right, well, we're not going to play all this. It's 2 minutes, and the second half of this is not great, but the first half is just weird.
I told Tim 2 months ago, a month ago, I don't know when I told you, that I was going to do something big, a restoring event next summer. And I have felt strongly that it is supposed to be a renewal of the covenant.
Oh, so you're gonna recut off your foreskin? Is that what you're gonna do?
I have questions about this. And I have genuine questions about this. I thought the covenant was after, I thought we got a rainbow out of the deal. I thought the covenant, I could be mistaken, but I thought the covenant was where God was like, all right, I killed everybody but Noah. And then we repopulated the earth with your weird incest children. And like,
right, sure.
And so I gave you a rainbow to totally promise I wouldn't do that again. Okay, that's your covenant. So what is my covenant back to you?
It's cutting your part of your dick off.
Is it?
I think it is.
Oh.
I think it's the foreskin.
So they weren't cutting dick chunks off before the ark?
I don't think so, no. I think the first person to do it was Abraham.
That's the give and take there, huh?
I'm guessing. I don't know this story.
That had to be a weird thing to be like.
It's got to be a weird ask.
Yeah.
It's got to be a strange ask. Hey, look, I know we're friends.
But give me your calamari ring.
We've been friends for a long time. But is there any way that you can cut off a portion of your sexual organ? You know that thing that feels really good when you let her go? I need some of that. I need like the end part, the most sensitive part. If you could cut near the most sensitive part. Also like old timey when they used to cut out the old hard no. Who the fuck would be like, oh yeah, it'd be a soft, it's a soft no forever after that.
What's the diff? Like, didn't they just like take their version of a knife, which is like a angry rock or something?
I don't know that they did it when you were a baby, so you would forget
shit.
it. I don't think so.
They did it as a grown-up?
I think they got it as a grown-up.
Like post-pubescent?
Probably. You know what? Actually, now that I take that back, I think they did do it as a baby because I remember someone had told me a story about, I guess at a certain age, a baby's dick clots better.
Okay.
So that
than like grown-up dick?
Than like grown-up
less
cock,
vascular?
Right? And so it clots better and it heals faster than a grown-up dick. And so that was proof to a lot of people that there was a God, is that he wanted a piece of the cock and they cut it off and they didn't kill the kid. The kid didn't bleed to death because, again, that's another thing I heard. There's so many fucking Bible myths that I hear that just like wash over because I never read the fucking thing, so I don't know all the pieces of it. And so I know I read that or heard that someone told that to me once. So
the whole promise is just the tip.
It's the tip.
It's just the tip.
Just a tip, just once. That's what it is.
And you immediately, and I said to you, I think you need to be there. You need to at least be on the board, if you will, to help shape it because...
Yeah, you're going to need to shape it because if you cut it off a second time, you're going to have to shape it a little.
Oh, there's no second time. Yeah. Like I need all the
he's saying he's going to go for the covenant again. So you got to cut off another piece of it at this point.
What do you like? Are we still going dick pieces at this point?
I think so. It's Glenn Beck. Absolutely. He's a giant dick. You could just cut off his ear.
Any part of
him.
You
cut off his ear and it'd be, I think God would take it. God would be like, that's currency. That's fine.
I could watch my children plummeting into the fucking lake of hell. And it'd be like, well, you got to cut off a piece of your dick. You'd be like, bye, kids. Bye.
I was thinking about God using these as currency, right? He's got all these little things. He pulls out his coin purse. And he just did. Pulls out a couple. Here's a couple. Here you go. Here's a tip for you.
Well, the thing is like.
A tip for you.
Tip coin is really trading well these days up in heaven.
Exactly right. We have to repeat Washington and Lincoln. We have to do it right. And we as a people need to gather together.
You got to gather it together to cut it. That's how it works. You got to gather.
Right.
Gather it and then snip it.
It's going to take a fucking gathering to get at mine if you've got a knife.
Snip it in the butt. Especially if you cut it twice already.
Jesus. I'm fucking wearing this thing down to the nub.
This is like what are you, a Bond villain? What are you doing to me?
A 1, a 2, a 3. Well, also like, we have to repeat Washington and Lincoln. They're 16 presidents apart. They didn't hang out together. They weren't contemporaries.
It's funny that they jump right to there.
They're 100 years apart. What the fuck?
Yeah, they are.
They're 1770 whatever to 1860 whatever.
Yeah.
They're like 90 years. They're not contemporaries. Well, what do they have to say? Well, they didn't say anything together. They weren't making a totes promise at the same time. What?
And do it. So next summer, we're going to do it. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen in between to be able to get there.
Ain't no problem to get that done.
That's in between. There you go.
Will you look at those morons? I paid my taxes over a year ago.
Dad, that was last year's taxes. You have to pay again this year.
No, because you see, I went ahead and... Down!
This story comes from ABC. A Christian family who argued that taxes were against God's will ordered to pay $2.3 million tax bill. Tasmanian family's been ordered to pay more than $2 million to the Australian Taxation Office after
like
failing to pay.
$10. It's like $10. Come on.
After failing to pay income tax on the grounds that it goes against God's will. So that didn't work because that's stupid. And that argument makes no sense. In their submissions, they said the taxation law was contrary to the law of God. He said, we believe the Constitution affirms the fact that the Commonwealth resides within the jurisdiction of the law of the Almighty God, and the law of the Almighty God is the supreme law of the land. And in his mind, he's like, yeah, that means I'm not paying you taxes. And he also was like, I have a family history of not paying you taxes.
Yeah.
And at some point, Australia's like, great story. Everybody pays the tax man.
They did kind of try to humor him, though, at a certain point to like point to the part in the Bible that says that you don't have to do this. Like they're like, find a passage that says that. It's like, fucking who the fuck cares whether there's a passage? You write whatever the fuck you want down. Everybody's got to pay taxes. Who gives a shit what your magic book says? Nobody cares, especially in Australia.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was weird that they were attempting to adjudicate it, even using that as like, because what if the guy had pointed to a passage?
Yeah.
Was he then going to be like, okay, but I'm going to call up render unto Caesar, like as my next witness? Like, what are you talking about? Everybody pays the tax man.
I always am kind of blown away too, because like these people like never want, like the Republicans and like the far right people never want to pay their fair share in taxes.
Right.
They never want to pay their fair share in taxes. They want to always constantly try to cheat the system or get lower taxes. They're like those assholes that you go out to dinner with and then they like order lobster and then they want to split the bill. And you're like,
I know, right?
What the fuck is wrong with you? I ordered a fucking cheeseburger. You ordered a lobster fucking sandwich between two filet mignons. And you want to split the bill with me? Fuck you, asshole.
Okay, I don't want to split the bill, but I would like your restaurant recommendation where I can get that sandwich.
Sandwich would be so amazing. Lobster smashed between two, and you're just dipping it in drawn butter.
What kind of attack?
Attack, Larry. Anthrax, a bomb, I don't know. It could be something crazy. Who knows?
And this is...
They said it's like 90% sure that something's going to go down.
This weekend is a big NRDC benefit that we've been working on for months, and Alanis Morissette is going to be there. I mean, I'm thinking out loud.
Why don't we call the terrorists and ask them, could they pick another weekend that's more suited for you?
Postpone the benefit. Let's get out of here.
I thought I'd never say this, but Larry's right.
All right, this story comes from Right Wing Watch. This is Josh Bernstein Bear. Representative Ilhan Omar is a jihadist terrorist who should be charged with treason.
Okay.
Well, here we go, buddy.
All right. Well, this is Josh.
He should be charged with a fucking hair club. Like, God.
Get an eyebrow.
Creepy
Jesus
looking.
Christ.
Yeah, so like the guy is bald. Fine. That's all right. But he's also like weirdly hairless until he gets to his chinnular area.
Yeah.
And then he's got like the kind of like shitty neck scruff of like somebody who washes dishes at an Applebee's.
It's like he's trying to make a statement with pubic hair. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what he's.
He like he did one of those like hair transplants, like right from the wrong spot.
Ball transplant for men. Here we go.
We had Ilhan Omar laughing about Al Qaeda, a sworn enemy of the United States. People that
fucking Trump and Putin got together a while back. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. Trump and Putin got together and he said something like, whatever you do, don't meddle in my election. Wink, wink, wink. And then they both had a laugh about it.
Right.
This is an enemy of the United States that we're laughing with. So if either we can or we can't laugh with them, right? Which one is it?
Yeah.
It's, but you can laugh with Putin, but you can't do it with this other guy. Even if it's true, what he's saying.
I don't think that it's true.
Even if it's true.
Yeah.
Even if it is true.
Right. But I read an article recently about the smears on Omar.
Yeah.
And they are horrifyingly out of context.
They're completely out of context.
Ugh.
So I'm going to read a little bit here. Here's what she's laughing at. This person mused about how Americans use Arabic names for violent negative entities like Al-Qaeda rather than translating them into English. Omar responded that the use of Arabic names was a product of media sensationalism. When a word is said with such intensity, she said, that people think it must hold a bigger meaning. Then she spoke about a college class she said she took on terrorist ideology. She said, laughing, that the professor reacted with a particular body language whenever he said the name Al-Qaeda. The thing that was interesting in the class was that every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like, his shoulders went up, she said. After some banter with this guy, she concluded, you don't say America with an intensity. You don't say England with that intensity. You don't say the army with that intensity, but you say these names because you want that word to carry weight. And so that's what they were laughing at. She says, so yes, a lot of it's diluted. I think when you hear a lot of people speaking in Arabic, suspicion arises. So that's what they were laughing at. They're, when they're not laughing at Al-Qaeda, they're not laughing about the idea of Al-Qaeda. They're laughing about how somebody else is interpreting the word Al-Qaeda and then changing their posture and body language to give it more gravity than it needs.
And she's not even decrying that, right? What she is she's noticing how these words affect our behavior.
Right.
And how the use of language is impactful in conveying emotions in subtle ways, in addition to explicit ways. The thing is, she's a fucking brilliant person.
Yeah.
When you listen to this person speak, she's fucking brilliant. And that's kind of a problem for her. She speaks in ways that are very nuanced all the time. If you cut and paste the shit she says, which is all these guys do, the only juice they've ever gotten on her is like, if I take a snippet here and a snippet there, and I take it totally out of context, it looks rough.
Some people did something is the other thing that they go after her for. And it's, here's the actual quote that she had said. Here's the truth. Far too long we have lived with the discomfort of being a second-class citizen, and frankly, I'm tired of it. Every single Muslim in this country should be tired of it. CARE was founded after 9/11 because they recognized that some people did something and all of us were starting to lose access to our civil liberties. So you can't just say that today someone is looking at me strange, that I'm going to try to make myself look pleasant. You have to say, this person is looking at me strange. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm going to go talk to them and ask them why, because that's a right you have. And she's talking about how people perceive Muslims after 9/11. They immediately say all Muslims are bad, right? That's not to say that Islam isn't bad. And you and I on this show have said many times how bad Islam is, right? We both of us are, anti-Islam just as much as we are anti-Christianity. But the fact is that there's plenty of people out there that are believers of this faith that are nonviolent. They're nonviolent people. They're just that's what they believe in. Just like there's nonviolent Christians, that the same thing happens. But the fact here, when she says some people did something and they're starting to make us lose access to our civil liberties, they cut that out and they make it sound like she's saying, I agree. I don't think 9/11 was a big deal because I said some people did something instead of immediately denouncing it as Islamic terror, because that's what they want to hear you say. They want to hear her say that's Islamic terror. And if she doesn't say that, then what she is a terrorist.
Well, and it's crazy because they just keep asking her the same shit. They keep asking her again and again to denounce Islam or to denounce terrorism, to denounce female genital mutilation. She's done all of these things time and time and time and time again. And she can't get away and get into substantive issues, which are her job to address. Right. All that the media seems to want to do is get her on record putting her fucking foot in her mouth. Right. And she's not doing it.
Yeah.
And so in order for them to get something on her, they have to snippet this stuff. And they just keep asking her the same fucking repetitive questions over and over.
The amount of hate that she gets over the other 4 horsemen of the apocalypse or whatever they're called, the squad, the amount of hate she gets in comparison. I was on Facebook and there was a fight going on. My brother had posted something and a bunch of people that he knows had started posting stuff. And the idiotic shit that they post, that's the far right generated bullshit that they're making up about these people to smear them is abhorrent. They're calling her a terrorist. Like, she's a terrorist. She works with terrorists. She needs to be shot. She needs to be killed.
God, are you serious?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I've seen it. I've seen it. And it's awful.
Come on.
And you're like, okay, yeah, okay. That's where we're at now. They think she's so horrible that she needs to be murdered.
That want to kill us and have killed Americans. She laughs about them. She said on 9/11, right? Some people did something. Yeah, people that you probably knew and supported. Okay, Jihad, Omar. And then...
Because all Muslims know each other.
Absolutely. Hey, you know Muslim Joe, don't you? Muslim Joe from Mogadishu. You know him, right? He's got a thing on his head sometimes. Wears a nice white shirt, long button-down shirt he wears. I don't know if you've seen it.
You know, you guys all look alike, so like I assume I can just know one of you. And that's the same as knowing all of you.
He's got a beard.
Takes his shoes off inside.
Yeah.
Very polite.
5 times a day he's busy.
And of course, she supports CARE. She supports Hamas.
She's always asking which ways.
What's wrong with CARE?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, like, she supports CARE. What the fuck is wrong with CARE?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is they will associate. It doesn't matter if you're a Muslim organization, they're going to immediately.
I know.
Supports Hezbollah. She supports the Muslim Brotherhood. She probably supports ISIS. Right?
How do you know any of this?
She
stuff?
probably does.
I like that. What is she walking around with a Muslim Brotherhood shirt? Like, I love their second album, the Muslim Brotherhood. Fucking baller. Let me tell you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and rampantly speculate. So here's some things that are true because I think. Maybe they are. Yeah. That's how truth works.
Clearly, she argued for leniency on some ISIS fighters. So this is an infiltrator. This is somebody that's not a member of Congress.
No, she's legitimately a member of Congress. Did you see that when she was coming back, that she had a bunch of people come out and like after the president, that send her back stuff went out? She came back and a bunch of people in her district just came out to the airport just to greet her and say how much they liked her.
Yeah, they said, welcome back and all this. And then Trump said that was a staged media event. Yeah. He tweeted out that like the legitimate outpouring of support from her constituents when she returned home, he said that was fake and it was faked for the media. This is the world we're in.
It makes him so mad that somebody likes him. Oh, somebody doesn't like him and likes her. Yeah, that makes him really upset.
Yeah, because that's somebody who's not going to doesn't want to sit at his lunch table.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't want to sit at your, he's like a junior high kid. He's seriously no different in his behavior than a shitty fucking 80s junior high kid from like a bad Cusack movie.
This is somebody that is a jihadist terrorist that is inside Congress, like a cancer, is trying to...
Like a cancer. Speaking of cancer, where the fuck are your eyebrows?
All right, Charlie Brown was speaking. Please. Thank you.
Wah, 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 wah,
right.
wah, wah.
Can you turn on this hate-filled Caillou show for me, please? This is like right-wing Caillou.
Right-wing Caillou. That's Josh Bernstein.
Metastasize and spread her cancerous whatever, genes or whatever.
Yeah, that's what metastasize means. If you're going to use the word... You then don't have to define the word in your metaphor. That's why we use metaphors. You don't use a metaphor so that you can then define them. I hate this.
This is what you need to do.
Ever to other members to infect the body of our government. She wants to kill Americans and American policy and American freedom and liberty and prosperity.
She wants to kill all those things?
Man.
She wants to kill Americans. I like that he started with, she wants to kill Americans and our freedom and our policy. To be perfectly honest, all the other things are subordinate to the life, right? So the life is the most important part.
All right, I killed you, but then I took your freedom.
You realize
I wasn't using it anymore, really.
That the order in which they put them in is life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. They're not like, look, it's pursuit of happiness, liberty, then life. That's,
all right, all right, I'm going to take your life, man, but you can't take my freedom.
You could be as happy as you want for 3 minutes, but then I'm going to kill you. How's that?
By spreading hatred, by spreading lies, by spreading disinformation, and basically supporting people that are against the United States. So for that alone, I think she's treasonous. I think that she should be brought up on charges of treason for her activities and her associations with known terrorist groups. Obviously, CARE is a terrorist group, and many of the...
CARE is a terrorist group?
Are they?
Is CAIR a terrorist group?
It's the Council on American Islamic Relations, Tom. How could it be terrorist?
I have no idea how that's terrorist. Because it's not. Because it's not a terrorist organization.
That's like saying like Amnesty International is a terrorist organization.
Southern Poverty Law Center is a terrorist organization.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe CAIR has, some policies that are like, look, if you want to join, there's an initiation. You have to wear this suicide vest.
It's a single use initiation.
Admittedly, you don't get a lot of new members.
Here's the thing. You're in
you do get
for about a
blown up.
millisecond. Yeah. We'd like to welcome our new member. Thank you.
You got to change your Facebook status really fast. Like you're in a relationship. It's complicated.
It's complicated.
The others are terrorist groups. They are notified and they are designated as terrorist groups. And I think we ought to get serious about it, okay? Because these people have infiltrated our government, okay? They weren't elected to represent us. They were selected to destroy us.
Are we sure we're not talking about Trump here? Because he wasn't elected by the people, right? He was elected by the Electoral College. And yeah, one could argue he's pretty much destroying us. He's pretty much destroying us.
Like, I like that she wasn't elected. Like, how would the Muslim Brotherhood infiltrate? Like, okay, we're going to change in Minnesota. If Minnesota didn't want, like, okay, there's a heavy contingent. I'm going to go ahead and make these adjustments and tap, tap, tap. All right, cool. It's a Muslim in Minnesota that's now in charge that nobody voted for.
Right?
What?
You know what is alarming about this? Here you have an example where just this week, Mueller comes out and says how rampant the election meddling was by Russia. And these people don't even pay attention to it. Instead, they're blaming her for being selected by someone else. Right. They don't even pay attention to, the FBI saying these things. And, it's funny because when we were talking about Russia being a meddler in the election, long before any of this stuff even broke out, we were getting attacked for it. People were saying, oh, that's such bullshit. They're going to laugh about this. Oh, you guys are skeptics, quote unquote skeptics. Give me a break. But what's really come to light is that Russia's been it's a big meddler in our election.
Successful.
Big enough to alarm Mueller and make him think this is one of the biggest threats we've ever faced.
Yep.
And he said it out loud, like, this is one of the biggest threats we've ever faced. I don't think that guy is much for hyperbole.
Yeah,
right?
That guy's not an alarmist,
that guy's,
right?
Yeah. So, but here's an opportunity where, we see this happen. We see it going on. And instead what we do is these people are like, no, we're going to point to something else. They did the same thing when it came to when they're talking about the pedophiles and they're, there's these pedophiles eating babies' faces off. And then you're like, oh no, but the Catholic Church is doing that. Yeah. The Catholic Church is doing all that. And they're like, no, we're not paying attention to that. They find all these horrible stories and they try to pin them on somebody else when there already is somebody doing it, when there's already somebody who's acting out in those ways. And then they just try to find somebody who they don't like so that they can pin it on them.
Yeah, they're smearing their enemies with whatever blood they've got.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't even fit. Like you say, it's like there is no guy from the Muslim Brotherhood who's typing on a computer trying to get people in Minnesota to vote for
for somebody that they are not interested in voting for. The alarmism around the fact that she's a Muslim is beyond ridiculous.
Yeah.
First of all, that this hedge fund billionaire got away with running an underage sex ring for years. And secondly, that he lived right across the road from Bill Cosby. Like, I don't know who the neighborhood watch is, but they're doing a shitty job.
So this is Liz 10 Fingers.
8 Fingers.
8 Fingers Crokin. Trump appointed Alex Acosta to force the media to cover Jeffrey Epstein's arrest.
Okay, here we go.
If that made sense to you,
I don't know what you should do.
Very different people.
I'm not sure what you should do, actually.
Very different people.
I am going to talk first about President Trump's Labor Secretary, Alex Acosta, who is aligned with Jeff Epstein and helped him get off easily, reportedly.
Well, okay, to be fair, it was all the underage girls that helped him get off.
I don't know about easily, though.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how hard it was. Like, I wasn't there.
Like pushing a rope uphill some days, you know?
Did you hear what happened to him today?
Yeah, he got beat up or he tried to hurt himself.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. We're not sure which.
Right.
But I guarantee that within a week, you're going to see these people all talking about how they tried to kill him in prison. So the government tried to kill him in prison. Even though he's completely isolated in a government cell and they could probably just walk in and turn off the camera and just murder him. But instead, they're going to be like, oh, they tried to kill him, but they didn't kill him. And he was huddled in a corner crying or whatever. And
they just left. Like the would-be assassin.
Yeah.
I love that because like then the would-be assassin hired by the government to break into the prison or whatever, like beats the shit out of him and it's like, all right, that'll probably do it.
Yeah, or somehow it stops when you're the guards and let's say they hired the guards to do it to kill him or whatever. You're just like somehow they just stopped in the middle of it. It doesn't even make any sense. But what happened is he either hurt himself or another inmate hurt him.
Right.
That I have not heard anything else.
No, I don't think anything else has come out.
So nothing else has come out, but he was injured somehow. Either he tried to kill himself and hurt himself but he's also complaining about where he's at too. So another theory that came up right away was he's doing that so he can go somewhere else and not have to be in this shitty fucking position.
Right.
That's what he's doing is he's either trying to get in solitary or something to try to get away from being in that position.
Right.
So it's one of three options, and also him doing it to himself. Yeah, I guess the two options of him doing it to himself is his conscience is finally getting enough on him and he wants to kill himself, or he's angling for another cell. So those are the two options there. And then the other option is someone's just like, you're like little girls, huh? And then they beat the shit out of him.
Either way, any world that has him huddled in the fetal position, semi-conscious and injured is a world I want to live in.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes this is the worst timeline. Other times it's not. So
there's been a lot of confusion with that and why President Trump would appoint someone aligned with Jeffrey Epstein. And,
it's probably because he's incompetent, but other reasons may include that guy was a sycophant.
Yeah, right. Let's be real here. The heaviest likelihood is that powerful people know powerful people. Powerful people travel in power circles. And this is just one of the guys in one of these circles who got appointed by an incompetent tit of a man who appoints everybody. Everybody gets a shot at a Trump cabinet position.
Yeah.
Like, you walk up with a fucking deli counter taker. Like, okay, cool. Number 33, awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be appointed in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you want the fucking communication director job, I think you just walk up, grab a Fisher-Price microphone and stand in the White House briefing room.
If you sold Trump a cell phone, he probably asked you in the past to be the communications secretary.
Whenever President Trump does something that you can't understand or I can't understand,
then a wizard did it.
Here's the thing. Most of the things he does, I don't understand.
This is going to be so amazing right now. I love when you have to explain. Cecil, we've known each other how long?
We're at 23 years now.
Have you ever had to start a sentence? Okay, whenever Tom does something you don't understand and then launch into an extended apologetics?
I actually have to do that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Damn it. Think about a good person.
Whenever Tom takes his pants off.
Okay. All right. But those motivations are clear.
I always try to give it a few days because his actions don't always make sense at first, but if you give it a few days and
but if you give it a few days and you heavily apply hindsight bias, then yes, you can absolutely figure out what he was trying to do. That's all you need to do.
I love when his own supporters are just like, all right, here's what you get. It makes no sense. I'll grant you that one. Okay, you had me on the doesn't make sense point. Sometimes I'm as baffled as you.
Can you see? You know what she's doing? Right after she hears him talk, she runs over to her board and fucking Goodwill Hunting equations that shit until she can figure out. She's reverse engineering what Trump said to be smart. God.
And sometimes you gotta wait a few days.
Yeah.
Forget most of it.
just excise most of it.
And look into it and do some research. It always makes sense in the end. This man's brilliance. The plan has been in place for 20 years. President Trump.
Okay. All right, Tom. how the fuck do you have this plan in place? So he, 20 years ago, looked at somebody and said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run for president and lose the general election and win the electoral college by a slim margin, even though no one thought I was going to win anything. That's what I'm going to do. 20 years from now. Not now. Not now. Not this year. I'm going to try in 2012 and fucking fail. Right. And then I'm going to try again in 2016 and succeed, even though nobody knows how except for Russian meddling.
But what I'm going to do is count on a statistical anomaly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to build the next 2 decades of my life.
And then I'm going to count on A, a statistical anomaly, and B, an outdated way in which we decide somebody gets to be the ruler of the country. That's what I'm going to count on. I mean, you know, how do you have to plan this out 20 years ago to be like, I'm going to expose a pedophile ring through Jeffrey Acosta or whatever his name is? Jim Acosta, Jeff Epstein. I'm conflating the two of them here, but
yeah, Alex Acosta and Jeff Epstein.
Is it Jeff?
Right?
Is it Jim Acosta? Alex Acosta? I don't know. Whatever. Alex Acosta, you're right. It's Alex.
When I prognosticate about my own life 6 months in advance, I'm always wrong.
Always wrong.
100% of the time. I'm like, this is what my life was. I'm like, nah, it's just wrong.
There used to be a thing that you could send your future self an email. I don't know if you remember this.
No.
So there's this thing, and it might still exist, where you could send your future self an email. So you type something out and you send yourself a future email. And I did it a couple times. And I got one when I got my master's degree. I had sent myself one ahead of time to congratulate myself on getting a master's degree.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
But I got it 6 months early because I had to take extra classes. So I got it 6 months early.
Right.
I hadn't actually completed my master's degree yet. I had planned to, but I hadn't gotten there yet. And then I also sent myself
Maybe
another one.
just assume you'd finish early, like, standard.
I sent myself another one that was for my second master's degree, which I never completed because we started working more diligently on the podcast. And I dropped out of college, the second master's program I was in, because I was like, I don't really... Like in comparison, I'd much rather be recording with my friend than going to class at night. So I decided to not do that one, but I got the congratulations from myself for completing my master's degree that I never completed. So two times, I was wrong both times. Yeah, I was wrong both times.
Yeah. I can't imagine, like 6 months is a little ridiculous, but if I look at 5 years and I think like, this is my general trajectory.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't hold. The problem is that like our life path doesn't generally hold linear.
Yeah.
So the idea that somebody can predict all of the different pieces of the fucking weather forecast to get to where we're at now, 20 years in advance, that's not just a brilliant man. That's some fucking next level Borg shit. Like you could join all the brains of the world together and not master that shit.
The thing is like, even like things that were somewhat easy to pay attention to and recognize were happening, like the housing crisis, right? You had predicted the housing crisis a year or two before it actually happened, right? But the fact is like, you didn't have enough time to capitalize on it.
No.
Right? You didn't have enough time or ability to capitalize on it. You knew it was coming, but you didn't have time or ability to capitalize on it.
I knew generally it was unsustainable and would collapse. No idea when or whatever, fast, or what the repercussions would be.
Right. But, and maybe somebody knew a little better than that. Right. But, you think about it, you're just like, even something like that, just like, it's like crazy butterfly effect. One little thing can change everything.
See, so we can't accurately predict the weather 5 days out.
I know.
Like,
could you imagine trying to figure out something 20 years in? And a plan to actually that requires you to be president of the United States 20 years prior? Your plan is like, so here's the thing. I plan on being on Mars in 20 years.
Yeah. What I'll do, you see, is my future self will leverage Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what Twitter will be.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, because it's 1996.
Or I'm gonna get famous through a TV show that doesn't yet exist.
Right.
Yeah.
Is so many steps ahead of these people, the cabal. It's incredible. Everything he does is very strategic. Every move he makes, every appointment he makes, every tweet
every breath he takes, he'll be watching you. He's that creepy.
And he will pay you several $100,000 to do it. So.
He makes every misspelling in his tweet.
See, now you're trying to wave away his misspellings, right? You're trying to say that's the genius of him, is that he's so smart. He's sending out codes in misspellings.
This is astonishing.
This is 100% apology.
I love this right now. I love this.
That man is brilliant, and everything he does is strategic. And
I think she just likes him because they're a similar tone.
Burnt sienna.
like a hot orange.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, without the hot.
Yeah.
And whenever there's something he does that I can't understand, I just try to give it a few days, and it always makes sense. And I always sit back and I go, wow, that man's brilliant. So with Alex, he has resigned.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Here we go, guys. This is going to be amazing. I need to know how he appointed Alex Acosta and made this plan 20 years in advance. So let's figure it out.
Now, and a lot of people have been always make sense, and I always sit back and I go, wow, that man's brilliant. So with Alex, he has resigned now, and a lot of people have been pointing this out. The mainstream media never would have covered Jeffrey Epstein's arrest if they couldn't align him with President Trump.
Not true.
What? That's not even remotely the case.
True. They didn't cover his arrest very in depth because a lot of it was covered up and it felt like another prostitution case.
Right.
So it didn't feel, because it wasn't children, it was prostitution, and a lot of that stuff didn't get out. Investigative journalists had to dig into that years after the fact, and it was reported on by the media. The Miami Herald in particular and Vanity Fair were two places that you could find this before Alex Acosta ever even was, part. This was in 2016 or something, like 2015 they reported on this. So it was already in the media. You just didn't know. I didn't know either. Someone also told us about it because I didn't know either. I didn't know about this stuff until a listener turned us on to it.
But I get what she is suggesting is that I am supposed to believe right now that the mainstream media would not cover the rearrest of a billionaire financier accused of multiple counts of human trafficking. That would not be raised to the level of scandal or human interest in a post-Me Too era if there wasn't a connection to Donald Trump. That is what she said.
Right.
As if those stories, when people behave badly and they are incredibly rich and powerful, and there's a human trafficking and sex element to it, it makes the news. It's a big fucking deal. It's part of our cultural consciousness. We are, like I said, we're in this post-Me Too era right now. Like, these are issues that we have decided culturally are important to us. And these issues get raised. If there was no connection to Trump, it would just be all the rest of the parts of the story, which are salacious and awful. The connection to Trump is tenuous.
Yeah.
And so far, like,
nothing's come of it. Nothing's come of it yet. What I will point out too is, like, if that's the case, I know you guys watch Fox News. Why wouldn't just Fox News report on it then? If that's the case, right? And it's like not a good left-wing story, then why wouldn't Fox News report on it? And I think it's because she's one of these people who genuinely thinks all the media is a cabal. All the media is in there.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
And having Alex Acosta, who has been aligned with Jeffrey Epstein, and it looks like covered up for Jeffrey Epstein, that enabled the mainstream media to attack Trump due to Jeffrey Epstein's arrest. And
so Trump appointed an unethical human being to live and work within it as a cabinet position so that a sex-crazed human trafficking billionaire who got him a sweetheart deal 15 years ago so that the media would cover it? What are you talking about right now?
That is a weird,
what are you
convoluted way to have that happen.
What? It's not even necessary.
Yeah.
Like, if the guy got caught, because, like, this is the other thing. Like, if the guy got caught and he went to prison and nobody knew about it, justice would still be served.
Yeah.
Like, justice is not more served because we all got our fucking piece of skin out of it from being able to vicariously watch this through the media. It has literally nothing to do with whether or not this person was held to account.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think the timeline is that 20 years ago, he realized there was a sex ring with Jeffrey Epstein. And so after that happened, this is 20 years ago, so this is before Epstein's actually charged, because 20 years ago would be 1999.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
That's 20 years. She's saying 20 years ago.
Yes,
so 1999. Right. Epstein doesn't get charged by the fucking government until 2006, I think it was. And then 2008 was when he was actually in jail, right? So 7 years before Epstein actually gets charged,
right,
Trump sees that he could use Acosta somehow, who may or may not even been a state's attorney for Florida at the time, somehow use him to, how the fuck?
Okay, let's get rid of the 20 years and say that maybe she's generalizing and saying just 20 years is a round number, but when this all started. You still would have to believe that Trump said, that guy's an immoral piece of shit who helped a human trafficker get a sweetheart deal. I'm going to catch them both and burn their houses down. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to hire the worst person.
I'm going to marry myself to this guy.
Right.
I'm going to say, this is my guy.
What?
No. Again, this is all just me saying, well, how can I change everything that happened to make it look like my guy isn't a fucking complete buffoon who hired a guy who gave a pedophile a sweetheart deal.
Right?
The money is mine. I have the money. The money is mine. I got it for the first time. I got the money.
Hey, sir? Are you all right?
This story comes from BBC News. Trump uses veto to unblock $8 billion weapons sale to Saudi Arabia. This is a big deal. This is a real big deal. The U.S. president has vetoed resolutions in Congress to block the sale of $8.1 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia and the UAE. So both chambers of the House, both chambers of Congress, they voted to block the sale.
Yeah.
Trump has exercised his veto power rarely in the course of his administration. And he vetoed that resolution to push the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia because for some fucking crazy reason, we cannot get enough of Saudi Arabia's dick in our mouth.
It's one of those things where they're like, we're gagging and our mascara is running. We're still trying to fit the whole thing in there. What is crazy to me is that we're experiencing something now that feels like, you know, if you start paying attention to all the other stories that have come out about Saudi Arabia, especially that Kushner thing where they're trying to get things through a fast track to give them nuclear technology to fast track that stuff.
Right.
And they're like, no, we can't do that. And they're like, no, we need to fast track it. We need to get them that stuff right away. I think it's pretty obvious if you look at how Trump is treating certain people across the globe and certain countries across the globe. It feels pretty obvious to me that he's doing things that are well within his best interest, but not within the best interest of the country.
Oh my God.
You know,
he's cozying up to dictators.
Yeah. And these are people who are very rich, very wealthy. There's ties to him trying to make money here in a couple of different places. And you know, it's really obvious. It feels really obvious that he's not acting in the United States' best interest. And the reason why they're voting against this is because they're saying, well, we don't want to give them weapons because they might use them in Yemen, which is something we're already just like, that's not a good going on over there.
No, it's an atrocity. Like we need more of this shit over there.
Yeah.
Like we have no, I don't think we have for a long time, but we've reached a point, Cecil, where I think any pretense that America has any kind of moral high ground that it can strike in international affairs, any pretense that is at this point completely battered and lost. Right? We can say some things we know are true now, which I think many people may be reluctant to admit, and I think we have told a different narrative around, right? One is we do not care about human rights violations. We don't care about genocides. We are unwilling to act There's this bullshit phrase that gets tossed around all the time that we're the policeman of the world.
Right.
We've never been the policeman of the world. Never. We've never, not one time have we acted really as the policeman to the world. And that's evident because we only intervene when our national best interests are at stake. That's not what the police don't only like show up when their house is getting robbed.
Yeah.
Right? We aren't the policeman of the world. We weren't the policeman when there was a genocide in Yugoslavia. We weren't the policeman when there was a genocide in Rwanda. We're not the policeman when there's a genocide in Yemen. We show up when and where it suits our national best interests. We don't go adventuring around the globe for the sake of democracy and to take down ruthless dictators. We could give a fuck. We know we could give a fuck because we keep not caring. And we look at something like Saudi Arabia and we say like, yeah, all right, well, we're cozying up to Saudi Arabia. Well, it's an atrocious regime. It is incredibly immoral. It's one of the most immoral regimes currently in power on the planet.
They sawed an American citizen apart. They sawed him apart. Khashoggi.
Oh, yes, yeah.
They sawed him in, like it's a magic trick.
Yeah, right.
It made him disappear.
Yeah.
That's the magic trick.
Are you sure they didn't turn him into a rabbit?
Yeah.
And then saw the rabbits apart?
Well, I'll tell you what. That's one of those things that, you have a guy who's speaking out against this administration and against that administration, and then he goes up missing.
Yep.
Well, not so much missing as cut into tiny pieces with a bone saw that they checked in their fucking bag to come through into Turkey.
And we know they did it. We have audio conversations. This is not a controversial thing that we're saying at this point. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like we don't give a fuck. We've never given a fuck. We're at a place with Saudi Arabia where we are saying like, there's no way to avoid saying, I think at this point, that the United States official policy on the Middle East is if it's convenient and economically advantageous, then those are our friends.
Yep.
And if it is inconvenient or not economically advantageous, then those are our enemies. And there is no moral difference. There is no ethical standard that is applied. We don't give two shits about any of it. We'll watch all these fucking people burn and starve and die, and we don't care, and it doesn't matter. And if you think it's different, go to Yemen.
Yeah, go to Yemen. Go to, like you said, Rwanda is a perfect example of that.
We don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care.
We didn't care then. We're not going to care now.
There's so many places we never cared.
So, Tom, right now, our sponsor, AdamandEve.com. And AdamandEve.com, I just want to mention, if you like to fuck.
If you don't. Really?
Yeah. But if you like to fuck and you like to get fucked, AdamandEve.com is a great sponsor for this show because they provide oils and lubes and things to fuck with and things to get fucked with and things to put on stuff and things to put under stuff, things to put around stuff. I mean, you basically can pack that shit in airtight wherever you want.
And the nice thing is with the code GLORY at checkout, you won't get fucked on the price.
Exactly.
Because you get 50% off almost any item at AdamandEve.com. You get a ton of free gifts. You get free DVDs. There's something for you, something for her, something for both of you guys. No sex swing right now.
Yeah,
no sex swing.
But free shipping.
Free shipping.
We get to swing it out to you that way instead. You get free. All you have to do is enter Glory at checkout. You'll get all that stuff. And fucking has never been so fun.
This story comes from the Moscow Times. This is fucked. Russian LGBT activist killed after being listed on Saw-inspired gay hunting site. So this is absolutely nuts. There's a site, there's a site in Russia where people put suspected homosexuals' names and information up for people to hunt those people down and fuck them up and kill them.
Yeah, well, fuck them up. I think is the plan, to beat their ass, beat them up.
And in this case, they fucking killed this guy.
Well, this girl, I don't know. You see, I think the headline's technically right? It says Russian LGBT activist killed after being listed on Saw-inspired gay hunting site. But as if you read the article at the bottom, it says on Thursday, an investigative committee had detained a 38-year-old native from Kyrgyzstan as a main suspect. Investigators said that they had evidence to prove that her death was the result of a domestic dispute, and she had been familiar with the suspect. So technically, it is correct.
Okay,
she was put in there,
yeah,
and then she was killed. Right after she was put in there, she was killed. But that doesn't connect.
one
the
doesn't
two,
necessarily
right?
lead to the next.
But it doesn't stop me from saying, holy shit, you have a site where you can just target people that are a minority, that are a targeted minority, and you could just target them, put their names in there, and then people go out and try to find them and beat them up. That's a horror.
It is the fucking worst. And the idea that you would, we talked about like doxing and like why doxing is such a like valueless, mean-spirited, cruel thing to do, right? And this is that on steroids.
Yeah.
You know, to maintain a sort of list of people whose actions in no way affect you. In no way. They have no force and effect. Like somebody's gay, somebody's a lesbian, somebody's bi, somebody's whatever. Like it cannot possibly matter to you except for just this idea that people are going to maintain a database of people they want to hurt.
Yeah.
There's a cruelty in that is, I don't know how you get there. Like it feels like identifying, I am making this comparison on purpose. It feels like identifying the Jews.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It feels like saying we are going to compile a list of our enemies so that they can be dealt with. And all these are is people, these are just people whose sexual interest isn't the same, presumably, or is more like yours that you're willing to be comfortable with.
Yeah, it's more like yours. What's interesting is that this also, to me, could be a horrible way to out someone too, right? Like that's something in the United States that, you know, if you out somebody, it's a really bad thing, especially if somebody who's not out and then you out them.
Right.
Really bad, horrible thing to do to somebody, right? To out somebody. But in this case, it's doubly worse, right? You could be outed and then hunted for it.
And the other problem is like, it's already the most dangerous game.
Yeah.
So, you know, like this.
How much for the little girl? The women. How much for the women?
What?
Your women. I want to buy your women, the little girl, your daughters. Sell them to me. Sell me your children. Melody. Melody. You. How much for your wife?
Yeah, this story is some bullshit. It's from OP India. Jharkhand. Court rejects bail of baby selling nun. Church portal calls it sectarian hatred. This is fucking bullshit. So these children, these at-risk, at-need fucking children, were basically being human trafficked. That's what this is. It's maybe not sexual human trafficking, but selling people is human trafficking.
Sure.
Like there's lots of different kinds of human trafficking. And this woman got arrested. Like the nun got arrested, right? The nun belonged to the Missionaries of Charity. And
Missionaries of Charity, by the way, linked to Mother Teresa. That was her.
Is
order.
that, yeah. So the court was like, yeah, we're not going to fucking grant you bail on this.
Yeah.
And the church's position is like, this is based on sectarian hatred.
Yeah.
I think it's based on the hatred of human trafficking.
Right.
Baby selling.
Right.
Like, what?
She's selling these babies for a couple $1,000s a piece.
Yep.
I don't know if you saw, but it was like 4 different babies they're suspecting now. And I didn't know what this site was. So I went and looked it up on and it is there's a Washington Post article for this because I was like, I've never heard of this other thing. But there's a Washington Post article I found. They didn't talk about the rejection of the bail, but this is the original article we'll post on this site on this week's show notes where it talks about, you know, this is a nun from Mother Teresa's charity. Well, Mother Teresa, not a great track record already, right? But selling an infant for $1,740 in the Northeast city. So $1,740 she sold an infant for. That's what she's accused of. That comes out to be 100,000 to 1,200 or 120,000 rupees. They sold the baby to a couple, and that baby was less than a month old, straight from the hospital.
Jesus, thing's still fresh.
I know, right? It still's got that sticker. I just have to type in the produce code for it.
God damn, it's got the new baby smell still on it. That's a stinky smell, by the way.
Is it?
People love the smell of new baby. It's like, I'll take a new car. Like, I'll take the $1,740 any day of the week. I guess that's what I'm saying.
I'll take a bag full of 1,740 singles and smell that. No, I won't actually. Money smells disgusting.
Money does.
Money stinks like shit. Yeah. Money's the worst. Money
I'd still rather smell that than like my firstborn. But still.
Of course you would.
It stinks. because money doesn't shit.
Yeah, because you're firstborn, you have to throw that money out the door. Basically, here we go. Let's check it. But it is crazy that, we have, there's nuns that are selling babies. Again, this is another opportunity for these cute people to be like,
right.
Here's your example of someone selling. Now, they're not selling them. It doesn't sound like they're selling it to a pedophile ring. The way it's worded in these two articles, it sounds like these people are trying to skip the adoption process. Yeah. The adoption process is long and arduous, and they want to just skip it. So they're just trying to like, hey, this lady's walking around. She's like, hey, you want to buy a baby? And she's got a baby in her trench coat. Yeah. So, I don't know. But like that's what it sounds like from the article. It doesn't sound like the same thing that they're saying. But again, it's a horror. It doesn't stop it from being horrible, right?
Right.
There's a reason you go through those channels. You go through those channels so you can be checked up on and all those other things. That's why all those checks are in place for you to get an adoption.
Right.
It's not so you can walk to the back fucking storeroom and nobody knows who you are. And the only qualifier is you saved up $1,740.
I'll take one of those babies that no one's using.
Yeah.
You got a baby no one's using back there?
We have a lot of those, it turns out. We got
in India?
We got a lot of those babies. We got a lot of those babies all over the world. Are you kidding me? We got a lot of babies we aren't using.
This is not an occult science. This is not one of those crazy systems of divination and astrology. That stuff's hooey, and you got to have a screw loose to go in for that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Our beliefs are fairly commonplace and simple to understand. Humankind is simply materialized color operating on the 49th vibration. You would make that conclusion walking down the street or going to the store.
This story comes from mycentraljersey.com. Longtime Linden minister used oral sex in exorcism ritual, men claim. Presbyterian minister with deep ties to Union County stands accused of using oral sex in exorcism rituals on victims seeking his counseling. This is very much what it sounds like, man.
Yeah.
But like, it's super bizarre the way he like groomed. So there were these men and their stories are actually pretty sad. Like they're going through hard times.
Yeah.
They're going through real hard times.
And they're using the church for some kind of therapy almost.
Which, thank you. Because this is part of the problem of the unqualified, untested, incapable minister, preacher, whatever, playing at therapists when they have absolutely no right to do that.
Or ability.
Right.
Yeah.
They have no right because they didn't go through any of the processes that people who actually do this for a living have to go through. They're not accredited.
Yeah.
They're not educated. They're no more. They're like, it's like fucking Dear Abby.
Sure.
Right? It's just somebody who's like, I give advice. These people were like broken and they were hurting. And they went to this guy and he saw an opportunity and he groomed these people.
Yeah.
And he started off like, first I'll break out this like suitcase of like feathers and gemstones.
Yeah.
And like he combined his like Presbyterian shit with like Native American rituals.
Yeah, like voodoo shit. Yeah.
And then eventually it's like, my pants are chafing me too.
Yeah.
And like these dudes were like taking their drawers off and he's like, you know where the demon is? Where it always is, in your penis.
I'm going to turn you into one of those party things that goes, and that's what he did. He just climbed right in. And I guess he's just trying to tame those demons as best he could.
And then he did this weird like parlor trick where like these guys like come in his mouth. And then like, he's like, that was cool. I got to blow that dude. And then he was like, hold on a minute. I mean, there was a piece of metal in there. And like he holds up like what's it called? The ritual healing? No, the fake, the voodoo surgery shit.
Yeah, like the where they palm the thing and then they they take it and they pretend that they're digging in your body and they're actually just palming chicken guts or whatever.
Right, they like break a blood bag.
And then they pull out all this stuff and they're like, look at all these chicken parts that were in you. And you're like, but I'm a vegetarian. Well, how did a chicken get in there? Like, they just crawl in your mouth when you sleep, I guess. Like an earwig or something.
Did you know you eat 7 chickens over the course of your lifetime while you're sleeping? The
other day, someone was reading to me 2-sentence horror stories. And one of the horror stories was, they say you eat 7 spiders in the course of your lifetime or something like that, in the course of a year while you sleep, but they never tell you about the creature that feeds them to you.
That's great.
But yeah, he did one of those like I don't know, like fucking sleight of hand things where he's like, oh look, there happened to be a corkscrew in your penis or whatever. he's pulling big like bunches of like hankies out of his tied up hankies out of his mouth after he blows the guy. They just keep coming and coming. He's pulling the hankies out. He's pulling out and there was like a ring and then a ball and a fucking juggling club in there.
Chainsaw. All right, I knew I came, but I didn't come that hard.
He's like, I bought for this last year. How's that still in there?
That's an impressive wet spot. I think wow. Jeez.
Yeah, if you're bobbing for apples in the wet spot, that's just a lot. That's a lot.
That's unappealing.
Yeah. That means somebody wore a sexy costume that Halloween. Someone was a slutty nurse. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. Remember to put on your calendars August 25th. We are going to be doing a live stream. Also, we'll be thanking our patrons, not next week, but the following week. But we want to thank you for hanging out with us today, and we'll be back next week. But before we leave you, we're going to leave you like we always do with the Skeptic's Creed.
Credulity is not a virtue. It's fortune cookie cutter, mommy issue, hypno-Babylon bullshit. Couched in scientician, double bubble, toil and trouble, pseudo quasi alternative, acupunctuating, pressurized, stereogram, pyramidal, free energy healing, watered downward spiral, brain deadpan sales pitch, late night info docutainment. Leo, Pisces, cancer cures, detox, reflex, foot massage, death in towers, tarot cards, psychic healing, crystal balls, Bigfoot, Yeti, aliens, churches, mosques and synagogues, temples, dragons, giant worms, Atlantis, dolphins, truthers, birthers, witches, wizards, vaccine nuts, shaman healers, evangelists, conspiracy, doublespeak, stigmata, nonsense. Expose your sides. Thrust your hands, bloody, evidential, conclusive. Doubt even this.
The opinions and information provided on this podcast are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of Glory Hole Studios, LLC. Cognitive Dissonance makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, currentness, suitability, or validity of any information and will not be liable for any errors, damages, or butthurt arising from consumption. All information is provided on an as-is basis. No refunds. Produced in association with the local Dairy Council and viewers like you.